Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we've got a new promo pack that we need to be looking at, ladies and gentlemen, and that means we've got a new Pokémon EX, that means we've got a new supporter card, that means we've got a new Tinkaton, and it means we've got some alternate art reprints, and actually, and I appreciate the alternate art reprints, don't get me wrong, but they have gone and replaced a couple of my favourite artists this time with other cards. So I'm going to be honest with you, not necessarily loving all the reprints. Not because they're not cool, but because they've already had cards with my favourite artists. And that is hard to top, ladies and gentlemen. So, what are we starting off with here? Well, we are starting off with Garganacl EX. We have to start off with Garganacl EX now, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? That's just a little bit too exciting. And what we've got here is a rather beefy Stage 2 Pokemon. It's got 340 HP, which, as I've told you on a number of occasions, that is the maximum amount of HP we have ever seen from a Pokemon. The highest natural HP we have ever seen from a Pokemon is 240. The record was broken back in Darkness Ablaze with Eternatus VMAX. And that was Sword and Shield free. We're now into Scarlet and Violet 4. It's been an entire generation of Pokemon, and we've not broken that record. Now, I'm assuming someday they will. But in terms of natural HP, that is to say the hit points printed on the card before we've used any tools or other Pokemon or stadiums or whatever to boost it up, 340 is a maximum. This is a very big boy. But that's not all we got, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got a rather nice ability. As always, I did the translations myself and checked with the lovely Antoine Boulet. And what we've got here is an ability which says this Pokemon cannot be affected by special conditions. I'm a little proud of myself for this one because I translated this the minute I woke up when I was not really properly awake. And this is actually pretty good. Now, it's not a reason to play the card, let's be perfectly clear. This is a bonus if ever I've seen one. But it is a handy bonus. It's a nice little bonus here because what we've got is protection from paralysis, from sleep, from poison, from burn, from confusion, etc. Great? No. Not arguing that it's great. Super useful? Yeah. Handy bonus? Oh, you'd better believe it, ladies and gentlemen. As for the attack, free energy 170, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 60 less damage from attacks. Yeah. That means that after using this attack, you have an effective HP of 400, and you cannot be affected by special conditions. And of course, when you have this much HP, one of the things your opponent may wish to do is use special conditions to try and, well, knock you down a peg or two, which they now can't. I really like this. And look, it's a Stage 2. We talked about this a lot. That is a bit of a problem, all right? It is. No way around it. Not going to argue about that. And the attack is fine. 170 is okay in terms of damage. But the fact of the matter is, we've got huge HP, reduced damage, and immunity from special conditions. This is pretty gosh darn good. And I don't think we've actually talked about it yet, although it is going to be coming up in a future video, so yeah. But we have actually got another Garganacl coming in Scarlet and Violet 4 in Future Flash and Ancient Raw, which could be kind of good as well. No, we have talked about this, and we talked about this the other day. I'm lying to you. This is a previously revealed card. And this is one that's got a really nice ability that lets you attach a fighting energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. And if you do, you get to heal 30 HP from that Pokemon. So it actually works really quite nicely with that one. That is kind of a really nice little bonus we've got going on here. So, you know, heal up while attaching energy with your single prizer. It's on the same evolution line. And look, it's only free energy. And two of them are colourless, so you can go and use double turbo if you like. Yeah, it reduces by 20, but here it's fine. And what we have here is a fairly ridiculous tank Pokemon. You've got an effective HP of 400 and are immune to special conditions. That's genuinely awesome. That makes it one of the hardest to KO Pokemon in the game. And it's got a weakness to grass. What grass stuff is good nowadays? The answer is basically nothing. I really like this, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if it's going to actually be genuinely playable in regionals and stuff, because I understand that it's a stage 2, the damage isn't quite good enough, I get that. But this has bulk, ladies and gentlemen, bulk like you wouldn't believe. Let's give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. When I give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. Yes, I know there are problems, but again, ladies and gentlemen, the bulk. The bulk! You know what doesn't have bulk? Ray 4. We got a new supporter card here, and we've got a skill, well, an ability, an effect, whatever you want to call it. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may discard any number of those cards, put the other cards back on top of your deck in any order. And this is a weird one for me, because I don't know how many decks are going to want to use this. Because the biggest problem here, and it is a genuine problem, you're not drawing cards. Now, you're stacking your deck so that the next time you draw cards it goes better, but you're not actually drawing cards. And as far as I'm concerned, that is a little bit of a problem. Most of the time, and this is probably an obvious statement, I'm just going to say it out loud anyway, most of the time we want to draw cards. Drawing cards is generally a very good thing. So if you're giving up drawing cards, you've got to have a good reason to do so. And this strikes me as a supporter card that is going to be quite good in decks that want stuff in the discard pile. I think that's the goal here. I think the goal is build up your discard pile. And then when you build up your discard pile, you've essentially know what's on top of your deck. So, and I'm not saying it's going to be great in this deck, but just as an example, let's take a look at Gardevoir. Gardevoir wants Psychic Energy in the discard pile to accelerate with Gardevoir EX. And you're going to have Curlier to draw cards, so essentially what you can do is get some Psychic Energy in your discard pile while stacking the top of your deck, because you're about to be drawing with Curlier anyway, so you can essentially know what you're drawing with Curlier while also getting energy in your discard pile. That is the kind of thing we're talking about here. Or we can look at decks like... Oh, let's go for it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's mention Wormadam. Yeah, I really wanted that deck to be good. It never was. Okay, fine, I get it. But Wormadam really wants a lot of Pokemon in the discard pile so that you can do extra damage by virtue of having the Pokemon in the discard pile with Matron's Anger. Well, this is a good way to potentially get up to 5 Pokemon in the discard pile, which is potentially an extra 50 damage every turn moving forward. These are the kind of decks that are going to want to use this. You can just use it to thin out your deck, and there is an argument here that essentially in any deck, you're getting towards the end of the game, you're worried about your opponent playing an Iono, so you play something like this to essentially thin out your deck so there's less bad cards in your deck so that an Iono hurts you less. I'm not sure I really want to play a supporter card just to thin my deck in the late game to help against Iono when there are other ways to thin your deck, but I'm saying this is the kind of thing you're going to be doing with this supporter card. If you got to discard as many as you like and put up to 2 in your hand, if this drew me 2 while discarding, I might love this card. But that's a moot point. That's not what it actually does. You either discard the cards or you put them back on the top of your deck ready to draw them later, but you don't actually get them in your hand. That's a problem for me. I'm giving this an ordinary everyday run-of-the-mill 3 Wassies, and honestly, that might be overly generous. Now, there is a new Tinkaton coming, but I don't think we need to spend very long talking about the new Tinkaton, ladies and gentlemen, because the new Tinkaton is, not terribly exciting, I think is fair to say. I haven't actually checked this translation with anyone, honestly, so I don't know, it's probably right. It is. What we've got is single energy, 40 damage, you get to trash a card from your opponent's hand or discard a card from your opponent's hand without looking. It's a random card. In Japanese, it literally says trash. We use discard instead. And look, you're only doing 40 damage, you're only discarding 1 card, it's a stage 2. No. And then we've got free energy, 220, and this Pokemon also does 60 to itself. I will say, we've got a bunch of Tinkaton out there, including like Tinkaton EX, which I know some people are using and having a little bit of success with. Free energy 220 is not bad, because remember, that is a magic number for KOing Pokemon V. Now, you can use double turbo, but if you do that, you go down to 200 and you're no longer KOing Pokemon V, so you have to figure that one out. I'm sorry, but actually, this is not terrible because of the whole it KOs Pokemon V thing. but also it's free energy on stage 2, and there are easier ways to KO Pokemon V. Free Wassies, again, being very generous. Now, there are some other cards. They are alternate arts of cards from Scarlet and Violet 4, so let's go through them nice and quickly. We've got ourselves a Pansear. Yeah. These are all reprints. We don't need to really talk about what they do. They're just comparing the artwork, essentially. Pansear is fine. I have no strong feelings about the original Pansear. This one is okay. Yeah, there we go. We've got a Horsey here, which is lovely, but the Horsey in the set was done by Garganacl, and you know I'm always picking Garganacl unless there's Okacheke, which there isn't. Sorry about that. We've got ourselves a Porygon 2. I love me some Porygon. Porygon is my... I think in terms of full evolution line, it's probably my... It's my second favourite Pokemon. The original Porygon is my second favourite Pokemon. The entire evolution line is great. It's right up there with Mamoswine. I love it. But Kuramitsu did the Porygon 2 in the set, and I adore Kuramitsu, and I'm sorry, the Kuramitsu art is better. And then we've got a Yamask coming in here as well. I actually prefer it to the set artwork. There we go. Whoop, etc. I've shown you the cards, right? They're alternate art reprints. It's fine. There are none I really particularly want here, but they're cool and they will look lovely in your binder. The real highlight of this set is Garganacl EX. Yes, I am fully aware it's a stage 2. We've acknowledged that, but I genuinely think it's so hard to knock out we could get good with this. So that's what you need to know. That's the new promo pack, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this. Tell me anything you want to know in the comment section. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Tell me anything in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And of course, get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Ray of Night, previously called Tom the Game Nerd, who is a lovely person and has been supporting for a while, and I thank them very much for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.